Welcome to Part 2 of Module 2 of the Social Enterprise Marketing Toolkit. While most of the attention for marketing goes on promotion, it's important to keep in mind that promotion alone doesn't make for a strong marketing plan. In fact, what you are promoting are the factors that you've defined in the other 3 Ps. You must have a product that people want. You must be available where your customers are shopping. And you must tell them about your product. You must also establish what your audience believes is good value. The 4th P, then, is price. In the most basic terms, price is what you expect in exchange for your product or service. Price is obviously connected to value and the market's perception of value, but we all know that a lower price doesn't necessarily indicate better value. Of all the sub-disciplines within marketing, few have generated so much attention, academic theory and philosophies, as pricing strategy. In fact, we've identified more than a dozen distinct pricing strategies. For the purposes of this toolkit, and for specific reference in social enterprise, there are 2 key lessons to consider. The first key lesson about price is the contrast between cost-based pricing and value-based pricing. A cost-based approach adds up to the costs to deliver a product or service, adds an acceptable profit margin, and the total is established as a price. It is important, of course, that all contributing prices are considered, including the cost of promotional activity to make customers aware of the product. A value-based approach, by contrast, sets price primarily on what the market will bear. This might be far more than a cost-based price. This allows for various intangibles to be factored into the pricing strategy. One amazing example of this is the significant price premium people are willing to pay for Mac computers or the iPhone, in contrast to the many good alternatives that are in the market. The most important consideration for your social enterprise is to understand clearly what premium your customer might accept to support your social cause. It's probably much less than you'd initially like to believe. Overestimating the acceptable premium is one of the most common mistakes social enterprise marketers make. Let's turn our attention now to the 5th P, positioning. The vital contribution of this P, and the reason it has become an essential element of marketing theory, is that it sets the 4 Ps into a competitive context. Positioning is about how you'll be compared, so it's fundamental to the messages you'll decide to share. Fundamental to positioning is the assumption that it's best to be first or second in your market. You might be Kelowna's only graffiti removal service, or Kamloop's only vegetarian Mexican restaurant. This distinctiveness makes you the only choice for a potential customer. Also fundamental to positioning is that it is totally contextual, and it accepts that context is always shifting. That Kamloop's restaurant may have begun as Kamloop's only Mexican restaurant. As others opened, it might have focused further, becoming Kamloop's only vegetarian Mexican restaurant. Good positioning strategies set an expectation in the market that's defensible, meaning you can hold on to that position through time, and authentic, meaning you can deliver exceptionally well on that position, so you earn a reputation for quality in the space you've chosen to occupy. This is a tool called the value spectrum. This helps to unite price and positioning by looking at perceived value, or your customer's impression of the value you deliver. This isn't a quantified or quantifiable scale. Instead, it's used to set your social enterprise's position and price in a competitive context. Fair value is defined as how the market generally perceives an acceptable cost-value relationship. For the sake of a widely recognizable example, think about buying jeans at The Gap as an example of fair value. By contrast, Same for Less offers a product that's perceived to be the same as fair value, but works to offer it at a lower cost. Typically, Same for Less companies strive to show how efficiencies or economies of scale allow them to offer a better price. To extend the jeans analogy, we might put Old Navy here. Their self-serve displays are more cost-efficient than the helpful staff we encounter at The Gap, and their larger, volume-driven stores provide significant scale economies. On the other side of fair value is More for Same, where we might see an improved product for what is a very similar price as fair value. This category strives to demonstrate technical innovations, ingenuity, or a heightened sense of style that allows them to offer a better product at the same price. Banana Republic might offer jeans that don't crease after washing, or that are available in more current colors or more fashionable cuts. Less for Less is honest about the lower expectations of the product from fair value, but it is also clearly offering it at a lower cost. This price-based motivation is demonstrated through the removal of service or customization, and often through a large-scale formulaic approach. Think about buying jeans at Walmart to understand this value position. Lastly, More for More delivers a premium product at a premium price. The category improves upon features of fair value, offering advanced technology or service standards and more exclusive materials. More for More is typically reinforced through a distinctive customer experience. Consider buying jeans at Holt Renfrew or Harry Rosen to understand this position. Consider this. If you believe the Old Navy is actually fair value, making the Gap more for same and Walmart same for less, then perhaps Army and Navy becomes less for less, or, moving further, even a local thrift store. The relativity of the value spectrum is valuable, as it is helpful as you work to understand different audiences' points of view. It also makes it easy to access different opportunities in the market over time. Interestingly, Old Navy, The Gap, and Banana Republic are actually all the same company. Their marketing team recognized that there were opportunities as 3 points on the value spectrum and developed brands and value positions to occupy those 3 points. Could you do something similar? One more interesting fact about the value spectrum is simply that none of these positions is home to a better business than the others. All points are viable, and there are very successful examples of social enterprises that have selected each of the positions. Your next exercise then is to think about your social enterprise and your top 2 competitors in this context. Where would you put your social enterprise on the spectrum? Where would you put your top 2 competitors? Where might your customers and your competitors' customers put your enterprises? Are your intent and your market's understanding the same? Or have you got work to do to help the market understand your value and positioning? What points have you left empty? By definition, those are market opportunities, so how might you take advantage of them? This concludes the second module of the Social Enterprise Marketing Toolkit. The exercises we've included here are best completed with help from your customers and certainly your frontline colleagues. The more exact you're able to be in clarifying your market's perception and desires, the more likely you'll be able to deliver messages that resonate and help build your social enterprise.